What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back to another Tabletop Takeout Tuesday, my friends. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G, and this series is a bunch of bullet points as to what it is that myself, Tommy V, the 20-Sided Warriors, my wife, or one of my other friends have in love about a particular game when it's time for that game to hit the table. And here I am telling you about it. Now, this game in particular, to me, goes way, way back. I mean, this is a classic from my childhood that still stands the test of time. This hidden movement cat and mouse chase game along the streets and the River Thames at London is still one of my favorite hidden movement games that I've ever played so far. There's a lot of strategic movement in this game. You have to have things planned out. Now, Mr. X, who's my favorite to play, is the one that has the hidden movement, while the other players, the detectives, they're on the board at all times. Everybody knows where they are. And, this game, the strategy that it mixes with the movement, also with the placement in the beginning of the game, I think is really highly important as well. There's a couple of key spots, I think, if you really look at the board versus the number of players, how many detectives are after you, you will find some better places to start off. But then if they know it, they're going to expect that too. What's it going to be? Which bottle of the poison is it, right? But it does have a really good balance of that, because there is some luck factor as well. I think there's a lot more strategy in this game than there is luck, but just enough to sprinkle it in there to add a little bit of chaos, and I always like a little chaos in a game. Now, the rules really couldn't be easier. I mean, the every few rounds, Mr. X pops up. Right? You gotta put the mini down, let everyone know where you are for that one particular turn. It happened several times in the game, and this is where the strategy really starts paying out on both sides. Because you, as Mr. X, have to be very strategic about knowing when it is that's coming up that you're going to be showing yourself. So it behooves you to have multiple options, as many as possible, on that one spot. That's one of the ways you can really throw a monkey wrench in with the detectives. But at the same time, as soon as the detectives see where Mr. X is, right there they know they have to start closing a net in. They need to start pulling the strings together to ensnare him or her. It. So it really comes to life in this one versus all cat and mouse back and forth fight that Mr. X player is having with the detective players. I really have, all these years, enjoyed the movement in the game, because everything comes down to whether you're taking like a taxi, an underground, a bus, or maybe a ferry on the River Thames. And the use of tokens to do this is also part of the strategy. Keeping track of, you might not know as a detective necessarily where Mr. or Mrs. X is at any given time, but having an idea of what they spent will give you a pretty good idea, because not every node point on the map is touching every form of transportation. So like the game of Clue, this gives you the chance to whittle things down. But unlike Clue, it's going to keep moving from time to time. So you're going to have to be altering what you think the current clues are and weighing them against the past ones to try to get an idea of where Mr. Mrs. X is or heading to. But on the flip side, a good X player is going to realize that detective players should be thinking that way. Again, just like cat and mouse, like cheetah and gazelle going on here, maybe. Man, I can't tell you how much I've loved the map. I mean, like, ever since day one. The stylized, artistic representation of the streets of London and the River Thames, along with the modes of transportation, I've just always liked. I really enjoy the way they do that. Being points of interest and stuff, almost, although it's not, kind of turns it into a touristy kind of thing, or a historical kind of thing, if maybe you're an Anglophile or you're from there, maybe, knowing the history behind some of these places. But overall, even though that's not the intent of the game, it's an emotion, it's a feeling that the game has always given me, because I love the fact that it's so the map is so London. And in a very base way, never going there, but playing the game, you get an idea of the streets. I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I thought that was cool. Now, as far as replayability goes, I mean, like I said, I've been enjoying this game since I was a kid. There's no ceiling on the replayability of this title. This game is as good the first time as it will be the 100th time that you play this game. Because it really does all come down to, mostly the strategy. Like I said, a little bit of luck, but mostly the strategy of the game. It's a mental duel between two players or more players. You can't just do two, at least three. But between two sides, two teams, detectives and X. And this game still, after all these years, as far as I'm concerned, still comes alive and jumps off that damn table and grabs you by the throat and makes you pay attention to it and makes you want to play it again. Now, like I said, I've been playing this game since I was a kid. So this is a good game, I think, for children. I think this is a great family game. But I think because of the aspect of it, it does make it a good game for more seasoned players. You're still going to get a good opportunity to enjoy yourself from this title. But don't listen to me. I say this at the end of most of my videos at this point, don't I? Don't listen to me or any other floating head or disembodied voice that's telling you something about a game that you have no idea. Maybe the publisher bribed them, gifted them something, and now they're going to say what the publisher wants. I'm not saying anyone's doing that. I'm just saying I don't know, so that means you don't know. What you do know is if you enjoy a good playthrough. So this title and any title, if you think you're going to like it, if you want an opinion on it, watch some playthroughs. So go, get some more information, watch some playthroughs on Scotland Yard, and come back and let us know what you think.